couple of years ago, a chess blogger in France posted one of my chess games on his blog. And I never took French in school, I took Spanish. So I had to click on Google Translate to understand what he wrote. And the very first sentence said, recently, Jim West had a party at the Marshall Chess Club. I said, a party at the Marshall Chess Club? I had a chess game at the Marshall Chess Club, and then I realized that in French, the word partie, P-A-R-T-I-E, can mean a party, or it could be a game. It's the same word, but it has two different meanings. So that's bad grammar. That's see, the computer at Google plugged in the wrong word. So, and that's when you make a bad move in chess, that's really what it amounts to. You're making a move that doesn't fit in with the rest of the other pieces. Now, if they had said on New Year's Eve, Jim West went to a party, that's different. That works. That fits, you know. So what you have to try to do when you're playing chess is make sure that all the pieces are working together. Forget about killing and capturing and eating. Sometimes the students say, "I'm going to eat that pawn," and they kind of go nuts. They go crazy at the chessboard. Just be calm, and the same way you are when you speak a sentence, just do the same with your chess pieces, and you'll do very, very well. The people that are very weak chess players are the ones that they have no strategy, which means that they're not speaking in sentences. They're just like your younger sister right now. I remember one time I was at a student's house, and the 2-year-old girl, I said to her, "What's this?" "Glass." And then I held up a spoon. "What's this?" "Spoon." But until she can put the words spoon and glass together into a sentence, she's really not speaking as far as I'm concerned. Just because you say a word here and a word there, and unfortunately that's the way most people play chess. Grown-ups, I'm talking about grown people where they're just moving one piece here and one piece there, and there's no sentences, there's no, and even better than sentences, poetry. Like Bobby Fischer, if you play over his games, he was the world champion. Some of his games are almost like poems, where everything fits perfectly, And when you read a poem, all the words rhyme and the metrical pattern works, and you say, wow, what a beautiful poem. Well, the grandmasters like Bobby Fischer, the world champions, Magnus Carlsen's another one, he's the current world champion. When they play chess, they're not just speaking in sentences, they're like writing poetry. That's what it's like. It's poetry without the words, but you get the same feeling after you play over one of the games. Wow, that's a beautiful game. That's like reading a poem. But I'm not at that level yet. I'm a national master, but I'm not a grandmaster, and I'm definitely not a world champion. But we try. All of us chess players, we try our best to at least speak in sentences. Maybe not poems, but at least if we can speak in sentences, we win most of our games.
What's combining?
What's that?
What's combining?
Combining. Well, that's a very good question, because we actually use the word combinations. Combinations is used a lot in chess. Combining is when you take two or more things and put them together. So for example, I like to eat Chinese food. So when I go to the Chinese takeout, they say, do you want to buy the combination? Oh, what's that? Well, you get the chicken and broccoli, plus you get an egg roll, and you get a can of soda. So they're combining. They're taking two or three things and putting together into one meal. So in chess, a combination is when more than one of your pieces, when, Garry Kasparov once played a 15-move combination. I can't even imagine what that's like, where he could see 15 moves ahead. That's why he was the world champion. He's a genius, all right? But if you can see 3, 4, 5 moves ahead, and remember, it's not just one piece, it's going to be several pieces working together. That's what we mean by a combination. Let me just show you an example from a Bobby Fischer game of a 3-move combination. We don't want to do the 15 moves. Those are just almost unbelievable. But here's the 3-move combination that Bobby Fischer's going to play as white. And you can see how all of his pieces will be working together. It's not just going to be one piece, it's going to be several pieces working together as a team. Bobby Fischer's white in this game. Knight takes the knight, bishop takes, pawn here, queen here. See how all of his pieces are, nobody's sleeping. He's going to put all his pieces to work, okay? And bishop takes the knight, bishop takes, bishop here. See how all the pieces are starting to work here. Everybody's coming to work. And now we have a knight fork. The knight's forking the queen and the bishop. The queen gets out of the way. This rook comes here to open up the file. And I think I left out a move. Yeah, this move here and this move here. And now in this position, white can win that rook in 3 moves with a combination. Several of his pieces, not just one piece, but more than one piece, are going to work together, combined, working together as a team, and they're going to capture that rook. Now the question is, can you see the first move in the combination? How do you think he starts out the combination? What's that?
I'm just telling and look at the board,
Look at the
then
board.
you come to know.
Well, do you remember the tactic, the fork? So Bobby Fischer says, I'll take that bishop with check, and I'm forking your king into rook. Now, if you move your king away, I'll get your rook. So, of course, black says, well, I'll take the knight with my queen. But now comes the second move in the combination, involving another piece. Now the queen steps in and says, well, I'll do a double attack. I'm checking the king and the rook. And now when the king gets out of the way, I win the rook. So that's a 3-move combination involving 2 pieces, the knight and the queen. See, that's teamwork. That's coordination. That's when all your pieces are working together. All right? And that's an example of a combination. But that's only 3 moves. Gary once played a 15-move combination, which I won't even show you because it's almost mind-boggling that somebody could look that far ahead. But he was the world champion, so he could do that. But for the rest of us, if I can see maybe 5 moves ahead, I think that's probably the most that I can look. That's still pretty good. If I can see 5 moves ahead, I'm going to win most of my games. But unfortunately, when I'm playing a grandmaster, he can see 10 moves ahead. So I think I'm winning, but little do I know that 2 moves further ahead than I can see, I'm losing. So that's why the grandmasters are the strongest of all chess players, because they can see further ahead. Almost everybody can look at the position that's on the board and understand what's in front of them, but in your mind, to say, well, 1 move, 2 moves, 3 moves, 5 moves, 10 moves, 15 moves from now, what's going to happen if I play that move? He'll play this, and then I'll play that move, and he'll play that, and then they can calculate it all the way through. That's why they're the strongest players, is because they can see further ahead than we can. It's not that they know more tactics than we do, or even more strategy than they do. Although they do know a little bit more strategy, but the main thing is they can see further ahead. That's really what makes them the strongest players in the world. All right, now we've got about 10 minutes left, and so I'm sure you have some questions. Now you're going to borrow that book, Bobby Fischer Teaches Chess.
Yep, sure.
Don't speed read it slowly. Every page is like a little quiz. Now they also have this technology. Early this morning I was teaching a couple of these 2 brothers in Rutherford, and I showed them this website, chesskid.com. Alfred, have you tried that website at all? It's a free website. It's almost like science fiction to me, because when I grew up, there was no internet, there was no YouTube, there was no Twitter, there was nothing. It was just television, black and white TV. That's what we had, and books. So now, if you go to chesskid.com, your mom will have to open it up for you. The parent has to open up the account. For free, you can play chess against kids from all around the world. But now for an extra amount of money each month, they call it a package. For $7 a month, I think you get the gold package. $10 a month, you get the platinum package, and $14 a month, you get the diamond package. So what you then get, with each package, and the more you pay, the more you get videos, you get puzzles. And these videos are given by Strong. Some of the videos, I know the guys and women that have made these videos. They're masters or international masters. In fact, there was one video I was watching at a student's house the other day from Judith Polgar, who was once one of the top 10 players in the world, and the strongest woman in chess history. I remember back when was it, in the late 1980s, early 1990s, I was playing in a chess tournament at a hotel in New York, and this is the first time she ever came to America. And I was sitting there right there, and I'm thinking, she was about your size. She was about the size of Afren. I'm thinking, who was this little girl sitting next to me? She's got no chance. She's playing this international master. Well, she crushed him. I mean, she annihilated him. And at the end of the game, he was sitting there like, how can this happen? I'm a grown man. How can this little girl defeat me? Well, little did we know that she would then beat Anatoly Karpov and Garry Kasparov and become one of the top 10 players in the world and the strongest woman in history. She's giving a video at chesskid.com. So in other words, the point I'm making is just because it's a kid's website, don't go thinking that the quality of the videos is kiddie level. These are, very strong players, grandmasters, international masters, that are giving the lessons, but you have to pay the package. Otherwise, you'll just see the first minute and then it'll stop after 1 minute and say, kids, you better ask your mom or dad to sign you up for one of the packages if you want to watch the rest of the video. But it's well worth the money.
Do you think like from the scratch can we start, or let her finish the Bobby Fischer book, then she can go and...
It might be, she could, we'll have to take, let me explain something to you, Samantha, which I'm astonished. Kids don't read books nowadays. Almost every time parents buy books, the next time I walk in the door, they say, Coach, we bought our son or daughter the book, but now can you get them to read the book? And I'm like, wait a minute, you're here all week and I'm here for 1 hour and I have to get your kid to read. They said, our kids won't read books. They won't. And then they pretend they lose the books. Just the other day I was at this girl's house and she said, oh, Mom, I lost the Bobby Fischer book, I can't find it. And I said, what are you talking about, you can't find it? It's right over there. The girl was trying to pretend that she couldn't find the book because she didn't want to read it. So the advantage of the website is I have found out that kids don't have a problem when it's on the internet. In fact, there's this one kid down in Hillsborough, they bought him the books and he wouldn't read them. Week after week, Coach, how can you get him to read the books? So this one time I show up and they're all smiling. So what happened? We got our son to read the books. How did you do that? We downloaded them onto a Kindle. So in other words, the exact same book in print, he would not read. But then when they put it on an electronic reader, he read it. I can't figure kids out. But apparently, books are now considered last century. Books are now, the kids don't want to read books. So that's the only reason I'm messing this chesskid.com website is I have a feeling, now for example, I asked Afren how far she got in the Bobby Fischer book, and she didn't seem to know. Now, honestly, Afren, have you been reading it every day? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that because many of my students haven't been reading it. You may have better results if they go to an internet website. It's basically the same thing. The puzzles that will appear on the screen are not the exact same diagrams, but the Bobby Fischer book is one diagram after another with a little quiz at the bottom. Can white checkmate black, yes or no? If yes, which piece? Draw an arrow to the square. And then you turn the page. Well, at the chesskid.com website with the puzzles, it appears electronically on the screen. You click on what you think is the right move, and if you get it wrong, then they tell you the solution. So it's the exact same thing, only it's electronic. And I found that the kids are more likely to, if it's on the internet, they're more likely to actually do the puzzles and they learn. But you're right, I mean, in a perfect world, the Bobby Fischer Teaches Chess book is all they really need, but kids nowadays, for some reason, they don't like to read books.
She loves to read, so I think I can try the book
All right,
first.
try the book first, but just as a backup plan, in chess it's always good to have a backup plan. My original plan might be
because I think what you're doing, you're moving the pawns so fast. It's
well, I know, I'm well aware. I can see by the looks on their eyes that they're not following it.
Yeah.
But yet, on the other hand, there's so much material to cover. I mean, if you can't you can't dumb down either.